I've heard a few viewpoints on TikTok. So lots of people love it, lots of people hate it. There's a good chance if you were already in your mid-20s or older when the app launched in 2016, you don't use it, don't care for it, and quite frankly, you're overhearing about it. But if you're a younger person, there's a good chance it's one of your main sources of entertainment. Unfortunately, some users on the app dangle a dangerous carrot before the eyes of people whose brains are not fully developed. Those carrots come in the form of challenges and trends that involve potentially life-threatening and injurious activities. Many people have engaged in these challenges or trends, hoping to have their big moment of virality and internet stardom. Instead, they permanently injured vital appendages, organs, or worse, met their makers. From chroming to the Skullbreaker Challenge, we're going to be discussing some of the darkest trends or challenges to ever traverse the TikTok algorithm. Before we get started, welcome to Creepycassettiyt, your place for horror in reality and beyond. On this channel, we talk about dark history, weird mysteries, true crime, and strange tales. If any of those topics are of interest to you, please like and subscribe. Now let's get into it. Chroming. This trend involves teenagers breathing toxic fumes from paint thinners, aerosol cans, cleaning chemicals, nail polish removers, basically anything they can get their hands on to induce a momentary feeling of euphoria. One of many trends on this list today that invoke this feeling of euphoria. Gen Z and Gen Alpha aren't the only generations that have engaged in this trend. It's just back when your parents were kids, it was called huffing. As a matter of fact, I remember an episode of Intervention from 2008 where a girl named Allison had an addiction to huffing computer duster fluid. So there's the potential for addiction depending on what they are inhaling, but that's not even the worst part. As most of us know, these chemicals come with warnings. Don't drink it, don't get it in your eyes, don't inhale it. Why? Because continued exposure in rooms that are not well ventilated can cause side effects like dizziness, headaches, slurred speech, nausea, vomiting, loss of balance. Continued exposure in rooms that are not well ventilated can cause side effects like dizziness, headaches, slurred speech, nausea, vomiting, loss of balance, breathing troubles, lethargy, etc. Those aren't even the worst side effects. The more terrifying side effects like coma, permanent damage to vital organs like your brain, your heart, liver, kidneys, and let's not forget death. Now teenagers might consider chroming less dangerous than engaging in illicit substances, primarily because these are everyday household products. If your parents find a can of disinfectant spray in your room, they probably aren't going to think much of it. They might even pat you on the back for actually doing some cleaning. But don't get it twisted, kids. These chemicals are just as dangerous. Sure, it might cause you a brief high and even hallucinations, but it's not worth it. In April of this year, Michaela Solomon, a mother from the UK, almost lost her 11-year-old daughter. The youth and her friend inhaled 5 or 6 cans of deodorant at a sleepover one night. Sidebar, I don't know if you've used the spray deodorants, but I decided to switch my deodorant one time to see which works better. The fumes that come from those cans is almost painful when inhaled. I held my breath every time I had to apply the stuff. It's literally awful. The preteen's older sister told their mother, Michaela, what her little sister and her sister's friend had been up to. Initially, Michaela didn't really know what all of that meant, but then started feeling dizzy and she had heart palpitations. So Michaela rushed her to the emergency room. They ran some tests, which reportedly came back normal. After some monitoring was sent home, and for the next 12 days of her life, she suffered. She felt like everything was in slow motion. She had sulfuric burps, which sound absolutely terrible, severe diarrhea, and she couldn't even keep anything down. There's still some concern about potential long-term damage, but she's alive, and I'm interested to hear how she's doing today. I wonder if her grades suffered at all, because another side effect of the nasty trend is a lower IQ from the numerous brain cells that are obliterated from this practice. Another child from the UK, this time an 11-year-old boy, did not make it. In March of 2024, the youngster went into cardiac arrest while at a friend's home for a sleepover. Reports that I read were not clear on what substance the kids were inhaling. What we do know is that he was rushed to the hospital where medical professionals did everything they could to revive him. However, he passed away shortly after. He was described as having a heart of gold, which is just incredibly sad because he was probably an awesome kid and now we'll never get to know the awesome adult he could have been. I'm sending love to his family, honestly to the family of both of these kids. The Benadryl challenge. challenge. This challenge prompts people to basically OD on Benadryl or other medications with the active ingredient diphenhydramine, with some people taking more than 12 tabs at one time. This to induce hallucinations and a feeling of euphoria. Some people have even discussed hallucinating a mysterious figure called the Hat Man. The Hat Man is a tall, dark silhouette shrouded in shadows wearing what looks like a wide-brimmed hat. Weird, right? I mean, Benadryl is not the only substance that induces that particular hallucination. People have seen the Hat Man while tripping on other substances or suffering from a bout of sleep paralysis. Some people took on the Benadryl challenge just to have access to this terrifying apparition. Most people's reaction to this figure is one of terror, freezing them in their place, breathless and wide-eyed. I mean, who wouldn't respond that way? You can't move and there's just a shadowy figure hovering over you. Gives me the heebie-jeebies. While the appearance of such an entity would be horrifying, let's talk about the very real side effects of Benadryl overdose. Those side effects range from simpler symptoms like dry mouth, dry eyes, enlarged pupils, agitation, drowsiness, nausea, and vomiting, to much more concerning side effects like convulsions, delirium, psychosis, hallucinations, permanent organ damage, seizures, tremors, unsteadiness, and, you guessed it, death. A 14-year-old from Fort Worth, Texas was rushed to Cook Children's healthcare system after her older sister alerted their grandmother of the teen's concerning behavior. She was hallucinating, she was speaking in broken sentences, and her resting heart rate was an astronomical 199 beats per minute. The doctors had to run an EKG, and the results were unsettling, so they kept her for a day. The next day, when her heart rate went back down, she was released home. A 13-year-old boy from Ohio did not make it after trying the viral challenge. He was at home, hanging out with one of his friends, and they decided to film the kid taking around 12 to 14 pills with plans to showcase the challenge on their social media. Suddenly, the boy seized up and he was rushed to the hospital. The doctors told his parents he was in a coma and he would never come out of it. He was on a ventilator for 6 days before he passed on. An otherwise healthy kid, a football player, a kid who was wholeheartedly loved by his parents and family, and I cannot imagine what they're going through. I'm just sorry that they're going through it. And that's the thing. Kids are often pressured into doing what's trendy, and it's always been like that, but now there's this added pressure coming from social media. People want to be social media famous, and kids don't realize this clout demon comes with consequences. The blackout challenge. This challenge sees kids literally choking themselves unconscious. They are either holding their breath until they pass out, or in some instances, tying themselves up by the neck and depriving themselves of oxygen, a condition called cerebral hypoxia. Cerebral hypoxia stops blood from flowing to the nervous system. Blood carries the oxygen necessary to power nerve signals. Disruption of the nervous system can impact breathing, speaking, moving, and seeing. People engage in the challenge for the brief head rush and subsequent euphoria that comes with cutting off oxygen. The challenge went viral back in 2021 and has led to deaths of at least 20 children. Once again, we have a challenge that's actually circling back from previous generations. The CDC wrote a report documenting around 82 deaths reported by the media from 1995 to 2007. I feel like these challenges are just replays of other generations' bad choices, and they say that all trends will eventually return. This is one that should have just stayed in the past. Some symptoms of cerebral hypoxia are dizziness, trouble concentrating, rapid shallow breathing, numbness, tingling, and the inability to control movement. These are just the short-term symptoms. In the long term, the previously mentioned issues may stick around and even worsen, but some might also experience confusion, cyanosis, which is when someone's skin, lips, or nail beds turn a bluish shade, muscle twitching, seizure, coma, brain death, and regular death. Some brain cells wind up permanently damaged, which leads to the permanent changes in how the brain functions. In February of 2021, a 9-year-old girl from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, crawled on top of a toy box, hooked a metal dog leash buckle up to the door of a wardrobe, wrapped the other side of the leash around her neck, and hung 2 feet from the ground. She clawed at the leash, trying to pull it away from her throat, while her 5-year-old brother ran down to their father's basement workshop to alert him of what was going on. She did not make it. A few days later, her family burying her. 9 is far too young to reach the end of your life, and I'm the mother of a 9-year-old, and hearing her story really broke my heart and quite frankly scared me, and I had to sit both of my boys down and have another conversation about the danger of following trends. And I hope this never happens to another child. Hope that none of these trends have the opportunity to convince our children to engage in any of these activities going forward. And I hope watching this video will help you know some signs to look out for. The Skull Breaker Challenge. I really don't know who came up with this one, but this challenge reaches as far back as January of 2020. The challenge involves 3 people standing next to each other. All 3 jump in place, or the 2 people on the side convince the person in the middle to jump as high as they can. Once the person in the middle does jump, the 2 on either side of that person waits until they jump, and then they kick the legs out from under them. Of course, this catches the person off guard, and they have no time to catch themselves. They just fall back, and as we know, if you hit your head hard enough, you can do some serious damage. Damage like what one 13-year-old boy from New Jersey, who had to be hospitalized for 2 days with a concussion, suffered. His head slammed into the floor, and he more than likely experienced a seizure before going unconscious. The incident was recorded, and the kids who kicked the legs out from under him can be seen leaving the scene, while their unconscious classmate is laying helplessly on the ground. Those 2 teens were charged with 3rd-degree aggravated assault and 3rd-degree endangering of an injured victim. While the 13-year-old was released from the hospital, his recovery was not over. He dealt with side effects of the injury for months. A month later, his parents came out to discuss his condition, and they said he was still experiencing headaches and the symptoms were impacting his performance in school. It even hindered his ability to do something that he loved to do, which was play video games. If he played for too long, he was getting worn out, headaches were worsening. Poor guy. Like, seriously, it's so unnecessary. In November 2019, a 16-year-old girl from Moscaro, Brazil, did not make it following her and 2 other teens' attempt at the challenge. She suffered severe head trauma. While she was treated, the damage was irreversible and she succumbed to her injuries. Rest in peace to her. The Milk Crate Challenge. This one sounds so harmless and even a little silly, but the injuries caused by the challenge, that's a whole nother thing. The Milk Crate Challenge has challengers stacking crates in sort of podium formation, and the challenger has to walk up and down these set of crates like stairs. Now, milk crates used correctly are a pretty stable product, but when they're stacked on top of each other, not supporting each side, things can get pretty unstable, and it would take literally nothing for one to tip as you're walking up this makeshift staircase. The challenge dates back to sometime in 2021 when the healthcare system was still bleeding out from the impact of C-19. Those damn crates were literally putting additional strain on the system because people were showing up with all kinds of injuries. They had people's grandparents out there. It was just an all-around terrible idea. People who have unsuccessfully completed the challenge have ended up with injuries like torn rotator cuffs, torn ACLs, torn meniscus, fractures of numerous bones, spinal cord injuries. I mean, my knees just hurt just looking at some of these videos. To be fair, I've had the same knees for the last 32 years, and I can feel every one of those years, so you wouldn't catch me trying it. Look at some of the wipeouts from this challenge. In some cases, these people are falling from fairly high heights. Like, they are a good 10 or so feet off the ground. It's madness. Let you be the slightest bit clumsy, your foot slips, you step on the edge of one of these crates, it flips, you flip, we all fall down. It's a mess. The following statement from a medical professional. It's perhaps even worse than falling from a ladder, said Sean Anthony, an orthopedic surgeon at Mount Sinai Hospital in New York, to the Washington Post. It is very difficult to brace yourself from the falls I've seen in these videos. They're putting their joints in even higher risk for injury, he added. Definitely think before you act, friends. So that's 5 TikTok challenges that ended in death or serious injury. Are there any other challenges you want to discuss? Let me know below. We can maybe even make a second part to this video because unfortunately there's a lot of these weird challenges going on. Like, wasn't there one not that long ago where people were like stealing Kias or something? I don't know. Thanks everyone. Stay safe. Bye-bye.